Good morning! Hello! Hello everybody! I hope you're doing okay today. Hello Ringtail! Thank you for joining. How are you doing? I'm doing pretty good this Sunday morning. I've just finished eating some apple crumble that I made during the week. I just finished the last of it off. So good. I love apple crumble. Oh gosh, I'm almost out of tea. Just starting. It's okay. This'll do for the first bit, I think. But I'm excited. I'm excited to show everyone today that I have a new bot, which I've set up. We'll see how that works. Introducing Pet Mimic Bot. They should be programmed to just kind of keep things rolling in chat mainly. There's some interactable commands that are available. For instance, if you use exclamation point pet, you can pet the mimic at your own risk. And there's some others that I've put in the description of my stream. I just thought it would be like a nice fun thing to add. I'm gonna try and work on, I've got like this idea and I want to try and work on getting the mimic onto the screen. So there's a visual element as well. But currently we've just got a little chat bot. So hopefully it's helpful and not annoying. But any feedback would be amazing. Just so that I can tweak the little thing and just make it so it's not disruptive but entertaining. I think that's pretty much it for the bot. Other news today. What are we doing today? We are drawing a nice kind of shady looking background, like a place where you would have, expect like illicit deals or fight to break out, because that's the kind of scene I'm gonna need for my tabletop stream at the end of the month. So I'm thinking it'll be like a alleyway that we're gonna work on. Maybe if we've got time we'll do a second, but that's the one I want to do first, just like a dark, shifty looking alleyway. That is what I want to work on. And I'm excited. I'm getting a lot of stuff done behind the scenes for this as well, but I'm figuring the backgrounds, they can be done on stream. I've got a few niggly bits to work out with the other characters. They're a little bit more complicated than the robot behind me. Like, just there's a few different things that I'm attempting. Like this robot over here. This one. It's kind of okay, like complication wise. It was pretty easy to build and I could figure that out on stream, but everyone else is it's not gonna be that way. But I'm having a lot of fun figuring this stuff out. So I think let's just head over to Illustrator and get started. Let's get our pencil ready. Yeah, now we're good. So, because there's going to be characters over this, my first thought is to have it be kind of like the alley is in the middle. And then you see the walls coming out. And then maybe you maybe even like we've got a bit of the floor slash sky. I think that would be better. And then we've got this wall slanting out. But not that far, because that would be a very wide alleyway. I still want it to look kind of narrow. And then we can add like some brick texture. That'll be a nice thing. We'll start with some brick texture. Okay, no, I needed to duplicate that. Let's fix that. There we go. So we start off with just this symmetrical shape. I might even narrow it more because this is quite square. I don't think I want it to be square. I think I want it to be kind of more rectangular. Oh, hold it together, Illustrator. Yeah, so I see my bot has thrown a question at us today. So the question currently is, what does your tabletop character's room look like? Or what would your perfect room be if you don't play tabletop games? And I can answer that question as well. Astra is my go-to tabletop character. She's one of my favorites. And her room is quite tidy. She'd have like a vanity mirror, and she'd have like a lot of jewelry on that mirror stand, because she is a jeweler. She makes a lot of stuff. Sometimes out of the monsters that we defeat. But other times just out of precious metals, something that she likes to do in the downtime, and a business that she would like to kick off. So I think her room would reflect that. She would have a lot of classy things, some nice, just some nice clothes as well, kind of draped on a rack, and a queen-size bed. Oh, and she would need a hat stand because she's a hat person. So there'd be a nice, fancy-looking hat stand in the corner. I think that's what Astra's room would look like. So I'm not going to do a full brick pattern because I think that would be a bit too much. I'm going to instead make a like intermittent pattern. Like I might put more of a pattern on these inside walls, but I think on the outside it should look a bit more sporadic. So I'm going to use this as a guide, and then I'm going to delete some of these. Maybe move them around a bit to make it look a little less like I've highlighted every brick, and instead I've just picked some bricks. I'm just having a little play around with it at the moment. Just trying to decide where maybe things would look best. It doesn't have to be super accurate, but you know, I'd like it to be kind of on. How are you, Ringtail? How are you? What are you up to? You've been, have you been streaming anything lately? You've been quite. It's okay. You can. Lurking is absolutely fine. I appreciate you letting me know. Because sometimes it can be difficult to get out of the game once you're in it. Whenever you have a moment, if you want to like to tell me what you're playing, I'd be interested. But there's no pressure to come back to. There's no pressure to come back to chat if it's a bit too complicated to keep going back and forth. Dungeon needs a bit of a refresh. There we go. She had a bit of a hunched look about her. Starting to like the look of this edge, so I'm going to press save. Just had a thought, and that thought was this is not the roof, so this shouldn't be coming in from there. So I'm gonna need to just, I think, raise this up. Maybe I don't want to see the sky. I think it'll make it look a bit spookier. I'm gonna add like a skip or something, because that's quite classic. And then maybe we can put some posters falling off the wall. That could be fun as well. Let's have a quick look at what a skip looks like again, so I can get the angles. I'm gonna do that with a line and then outline the stroke, because then I can keep it more consistent easily. There we go, now we have an edge. And let's throw some things in this skip, like maybe a broken chair or something. Give the chair leg like a funky shape. way too deep now that I look at it again. Let's put a cushion on it as well. There's a chair. What else should there be? A mattress is pretty classic, isn't it? Just a big, disgusting mattress. All good, Ringtail? All good? What were you playing? You know, I appreciate that sometimes people just need to disappear because they're doing stuff or something comes up. And that's all fine. Like, if people suddenly stop replying from chat, I assume that they've had to go do something, and that's all fine. Had a bit of a rough last couple of weeks. Something in your head caused you to fall back into a bit of a bad place. I'm sorry to hear that. Got exhausted all the time despite doing nothing. I hope that gets better. That kind of thing can be really hard. Managed to start. Oh, you have. Excellent. Just looking at going back on your medication. That sounds fair. You know, if that kind of thing, if it helps to go back on, then yeah, it definitely sounds like a good idea. It sounds like it sounds pretty good that you're able to like identify that though. You know, be able to like see that there's something not quite right and try and stop yourself from spiraling. So good job with that. But I do hope that that all gets better for you, or improves, I suppose is better to say. Was dealing with the broad on ADHD like symptoms, depression, anxiety, etc. and wasn't great. Just tough finding time to speak with the doctor, dislike doctors, and doesn't look good asking for medication for mental health in front of patients. Sorry, having a stretch. Yeah, it sounds tough. I've got a few friends that are having a hard time right now as well. But I think it's just important that we just do our best with everything, you know? And it sounds like that's what you're doing. Okay. Stop streaming for those weeks because of the exhaustion, but hoping to get some today. Oh, cool! I think some time with friends, etc. this weekend and chatting has been good for you. Also, one of my work colleagues told me he'd take you to rock climbing because my current mindset, ready to call everyone's bluff, he wasn't bluffing. That's so cool! Climbing is a lot of fun. Like, there's some clip and climb places around here. I don't know if you mean like clip and climb or bouldering, but it's all pretty fun. So I hope you have a good time with that. And yeah, if you stream today, hopefully I'll be able to check it out, so that would be cool. Pretty good at climbing too. Ooh, so is it like a clip and climb thing or more like bouldering? I'm not like a huge expert on climbing. I've just had I had a colleague who did bouldering was just like climbing but without any like rope or anything on, which sounded scary to me. But there's other places where it's, I just know it's clip and climb, where you have like the harness and stuff, so when you get to the top you can just jump off instead of having to climb all the way back down again. Which, because I'm not good at climbing, that's more my speed. Haven't been yet. Ah, cool. Okay, well that would be cool to find out. I need to throw something else in the skip. I have a mattress and a chair. Clearly this is like somebody moving out or something and throwing away old furniture. So maybe along that vein I need something else to throw in the skip. What else should I throw in the skip? I don't need much, but I think maybe 2 more items would be nice to just throw here. Oh yeah, of course. Rubbish bags. The obvious thing that you would find in a skip. Let's put some of those in. Rocking chair I like, but I've already drawn a chair, so I think just honestly some rubbish bags. Oh, wooden planks is a good shout as well. Thank you, Ringtail. I think instead of it being a circle, I want that to start off as a square, because I don't like it being too round. So I just find that I can control the shapes of things better when I start with a square. And a palette. Okay, these look some great ideas. Let's put a little wave on the top. And we can connect. Actually, let's properly connect it. And then that can come in. Yeah, almost there. I think this just needs to be small. Let's give it a bow. This needs a shade. There we go. Okay. There's some rubbish bags. I'm gonna do just a plank of wood like this, but I think I'm gonna just snap it. And that's like the reason that it's been thrown in the skip. We've got two halves of it then. Okay. Oh, maybe I want it leaning against the other one. Yeah, okay. I'm satisfied. I'm satisfied with this now. I wanted to have like a nice, well, nice. I wanted a poster on the wall that's like all dogged and like it's been tried to scrape off the wall, but it persists. There we go. What else? What else will be on this wall? I like how it's looking currently. I think we've got like a nice layout going on because it looks kind of grimy. We can add some stains to things when we're doing the colouring. Maybe that's what I need to do, is just add like moss on the wall. I think that could look great. In that case, I'm thinking I might go for a quick refill of my tea. Thank you! Okay, then I'm gonna get a refill of tea and have a quick BRB. So everyone have a stretch, get a drink if you need it, and we can start colouring this in 10 minutes. So I will see you in 10. Hello! Hello! Welcome back, everybody. I'm back, I have a fresh cup of tea, and I am gonna take a sip of it. Awesome. I needed that pick-me-up. Now I'm ready to go again. As you can see, I have my colour palette that I have decided on. Though I do need like a line colour. And I think I just kind of want like a darker version of this brown. So we are gonna add that in. Yeah, now it's added in. Put it on our swatches. And I think we're good to go. Well, I've added a line colour in case I need one, because as a background I tend to prefer to leave the lines off. But we'll see how it goes. I'm gonna jump straight in with the skip. We can make it this lime green. And then obviously we want to give the edges a bit of a thing. Though I feel like that green might be a bit too much of a difference, but let's see how we go first. Let's try and change these trash bags. Welcome in the pen. Thank you for the follow. How are you doing today? Also, hello, some other heroes. Welcome in. Finally awake to catch my stream. Hooray! I know I stream quite early. But thank you for joining. We are making a like a shady, I keep calling it a shady background, as in we're just making like a background of an alleyway, because this is where one of the combats for my upcoming tabletop game will be. You got the chance to take part in a D&D one-shot yesterday. Tell me about it. I love one-shots. I'm still working through Curse of Strahd myself. We've been playing it for ages. But we're still having fun, we just move slowly as a group. Doing some stream prep. I thought we would see what you lovely people were up to. Thank you. We appreciate lurkers here who just want to get some work done. It's quite a nice get work done together vibe that I hope that comes across. A friend's birthday, played a kobold bard with a lisp who paints himself gold. That sounds wonderful. I love kobolds. They're some of my favorite. You can have so much fun with them. Thing is, because it was a one-shot, I made a point of just having fun with it, and whenever something strange was to be investigated, I'd just eat it. This is why I like running one-shots as well, because there's no real pressure on honestly keeping your character alive. You can kind of just be weird with it. Love some tiny trash dragons, yes. They are sweet and adorable. I never drew a floor. I need to add that in. Let's just give it a solid like there. But it needs to be on the right layer. Otherwise it won't work. Oh no! Poor tiny trash goblin! Goblin? Dragon. Yeah, I hope it was still fun. It sounds like it was still fun. Oh, that's not gonna work. Okay. I will have to look at this trash bag again. What if I gave it the slightly lighter green? I think I'm going to add some shading elements to help separate this. I think it's okay. But to be fair, our DM just wanted to use pyramids. Oh god. And we just made something up that worked. The problem was, when she attacked me with 4 attacks from Bone Sabers, it took 110 damage! Oh my gosh, what level were you on? Exit, same mines in the pan. Level 10. Ah, first time GM. Okay, that makes sense. I did very similar things when I started to DM. I didn't start on 5th edition, I started on 4th edition. But it was a very similar thing of not quite understanding how to stat an encounter. And I may have accidentally PPK'd a few times. But I got a lot better. Plus again, when it's a one-shot, it's usually fine. I find that it can be quite funny. It does. I think the important thing is, as long as people know it wasn't, you know, an intentional move. I think trying is really all you can do is try. Like I said, as long as the players know you're not intentionally trying to screw them over, because you know you've got to have a little bit of tricksy deviousness, I think, to be a GM. It's like you want your players to succeed, but in order for that success to feel like they earned it, I found that the players, you need to put a challenge in front of them, which means like you need to try and outsmart them, and you do need to put them in danger, but you're hoping that they'll get out of it. Okay. We've got some base colours in, and I think this is looking good. I did want to add some stains, because it's a very clean alleyway at this point. The colour palette really helps sell in the whole dingy vibe that I was going for. But I think everything is still too clean. So I'm going to use these colours at maybe different opacities, or maybe I'll try some different layer styles. And we'll see if we can make it look a little bit grimy. You have a massive D&D campaign you're writing, but has a 3-word document for it. One doc is the quests and stories. Oh, cool! I like writing my own adventures too. Nothing against out of the book adventures or anything, because if you don't have time to do your own stuff, they are a lifesaver. Or if you don't enjoy writing. But I guess I just like having the control to write my own stories. Another doc is the world information, such as holidays, plants, etc. And the last is town info, like shop. That sounds so cool. Do you have it just in a Word document, or do you use like a service like World Amble? 3-word, give it time. Oh gosh, yeah, I had all mine in documents, and goodness me, there was some things. There was a lot of documents by the end of it. If you're comfortable with Word docs, then that makes sense. I do recommend looking at something like World Amble, at least for inspiration, because they have like forms and stuff that are specific to world building, so they'll have like a separate form for like character building, and a form for the land and location and holidays, like you said. So it can be. I found it really difficult to organize personally, because the best organizational things are behind a paywall, but it is quite good with just the base stuff, because all of the different options kind of gave me ideas, because I was like, I never really thought about like this aspect of character design and stuff, and so I recommend just looking at it. There's a few different things that exist for tabletop RPGs. Then the spreadsheets and random notes on mobile, and scrap paper when inspiration strikes away from your PC. So when I run, the best thing for me, because most of the campaigns I run these days are online, and I find the best thing for me is to do all of my prep notes and planning digitally, but when I was running a session, I would have a paper notebook in front of me. I don't know why this doesn't, objectively this doesn't really make a lot of sense, but I found it much easier for when I was making notes, like if the players would throw something at me during a session, or if I needed to come up with something, like if they asked for a thing that I didn't know the answer to, and I kind of made it up. I would write it in a paper notebook, because I found it less distracting, I think, to have it in a paper notebook than to constantly go back and forth through tabs. So my notes just ended up being literally everywhere. Because I like writing my notes in a paper notebook, but the one thing that it doesn't have is Control F. And that makes quite a lot of difference. gonna just see if I prefer it in the green. Yeah, I prefer this mark in the green. Okay, I'm gonna add, because skips are very rarely nice. We're gonna add some of these, and we're gonna affect the roughen effect a bit here because we want it to be different. We'll do that again actually with the other one because they are the same. There we go. Now the splotches are all different. It is, I think maybe I do want the lines on top. There we go. I didn't like the way that was intersecting. Currently, your world info has, I don't know that word. Edelas history? I'm sorry if that's not right. Renowned locations, renowned individuals, star constellations, plant life, spices, materials, homebrew creatures, illness. It's the world. Oh, sweet. Okay, cool. That makes sense. That's cool. Gosh, it's so fun to think of all those, like, little details. I'm just going to use this to make, like a... I'm gonna... just like where maybe the residual stickiness is. And then maybe we've got like a shadow just under this curled corner to fill it in. Take the opacity down so it doesn't match the wall. Yeah. Oh yeah, the stains really work for me. Currently, the biggest piece of world history I have is that the country of Winterthorn is just coming off the back end of a 7-year war. But they also have a holiday that is celebrated like Valentine's Day, called Inespo Dawn, where people who wish to show appreciation for their loved ones spend a night among plants called the Hallowed Rose Allies. That's very cool though, I like that. I've never done like a Valentine holiday, fantasy holiday, and I really like that. Sounds very sweet. There it is. Bring the opacity down on that. Now the mattress definitely needs some stains. It's not gross enough. Let's make a clipping mask. There we go. It's all gross now. So it does need to be behind the back. There we go. Oh, and maybe I would want to put some gradients down. I think that would help. Let's try some gradients. I want it to come in, but I want the chair to still be visible. I think that's okay. And then this one, I still want it to go darker, so... try and drag this out. Maybe we want this one to be darker so we can see more of a line. There. Give the skip a shadow. Okay. So yeah, I think I need to draw like a line in because I don't like that you can't see the edge of the wall there. Or maybe I don't line or not to line. That is the question. You know what? I'm gonna not. After seeing it in, I think I prefer no line. Then I'm just gonna give the bin bags a little bit of a shade. And what I'm doing most of the time is I'm using a clipping mask, so I'm using the shape of the bag and I'm using that as a mask to cut off all the other shapes that I'm drawing so that it can have its own shadow in. So if you are wondering why there's a lot of shapes appearing and disappearing, that's why. It's all about the clipping masks. I'm thinking maybe I want some sort of like drip water damage going on this wall as well. That might look nice as a texture. I'll try a different way of drawing it. Okay, let's neaten that up a bit. And to multiply so that we can get the gradient underneath it. Maybe just a little bit more. I do like it. It does make it look even more gross. think I want it to be a bit longer though. So I'm gonna merge two of them together. Yeah, I like it. It adds to the gross feeling. Definitely think it makes it look darker and dingier. Also gonna want a shadow on this wall. Looks nice, would not want to be caught loitering there. Yeah, that's the vibe we're going for. Just like one of those very typical shady looking alleyways. I want a gradient on these walls as well. But this one will be the lighter colours. Because I don't want it to blend this much in with the front wall. So I'm going to use like an opacity, so we've got a little bit of softness on it. Just a little bit of softness. I'm gonna have a quick swig of tea while I review this. Is this where the trash dragons hang out? Maybe. This is actually a background for my upcoming Masks game, which I'm going to be streaming at the end of April, hopefully. And it'll be one of the backgrounds where one of the fights will break out. So it is a secret who lives here, or hangs out here, but rest assured they will be foes and not friends. Or who knows, maybe. You never know what the players are going to do. Maybe they will be friends. But the intent is not friendship. I might be about done. I'm not sure what else I would want to add in, but I think this colour palette has worked really well. I like the splotches that we have going on. I might add a few splotches on the wall, just because I think these walls are looking a bit plain compared to the back wall and the front wall. Foes are just friends you haven't tried hard enough with. That is very true. Very, very true. Oh, no, not that intense. I do have a reputation amongst my peers as a GM of taking a typical creature or something like monster and making it like the opposite of what it would usually be. So if it's friendly, making it like the BBG, or if it's typically like a villain, making it one of the good guys. I just quite like the subversion. One of my favorite BBGs I've used in the past was like a pixie who had taken over a lich's like fungin, and had trapped him, and so the party would be walking around with this lich's skull, which, you know, didn't have the power to do anything, to navigate the fungin to get to the pixie. Which obviously that was a bit different because the lich was still very much evil, but was very incapacitated. And, you know, they came to some sort of an agreement in order to kind of help each other, because the players were also trapped in there. It was fun. I had a lot of fun with that one. Very much the same. It's where I have a villain that doesn't have a motivation. Yeah, like, occasionally, like, I never usually is like a main villain. Occasionally I might have like a monster of the week type villain come in and be like, wahahaha. But all my main villains will usually have some kind of goal. Or, you know, it's just more fun to think about. I think this one needs to be a lot more faded. Because sometimes it is fun to just be a very campy, evil for evil's sake villain, but they're never my favourite to be like the main guy in the plot, if you know what I mean. Because I don't think they tend to hold interest long enough. A huge fan of wrong thing for right reasons, and yes, that's one of my favourite things too. Wrong thing for right reasons is like, it's really fun to just explore that and try and think like, what made this character think that this was the way, like this was the only way out. And that is why I also really like having everyone be, you know, I don't know if redeemable is the right word, but the players being able to tackle it in different ways. I think it depends from character to character if they are redeemable, because as a villain it depends what they've done. But I do love me a redeemable villain. Sympathetic if not redeemable, yes. That's what I was looking for. It's like, I can understand where you've come from. You're wrong. But I at least understand. The GM who is running the Curse of Strahd campaign that I am in is kind of doing that with Strahd, and I appreciate that a lot. I like a more sympathetic Strahd. Oh, that is not the right layer. Let's go up. This needs to be on top of the bricks. There we go, I think that helps tie it together. Just so that there's these marks kind of everywhere. It's just a not nice street. And I think I might call that done. It might be done now, because I like all the little stains going on. I like the skip. It's quite a simple background. Because the thing I always try to remember is that it's a background, so the thing on top of it is going to be the thing that needs to draw interest, and I think this is doing enough to set a scene, which I'm very happy about. I think it definitely reeks. I think somehow like the smell of this place is coming through with the colours, and that was my goal, so hooray! Strahd is interesting. Rohi's hugely problematic, almost narcissistic. I know I'm trying to avoid a lot of the spoilers. There's bits and pieces I know about Raw because my GM has said about things that were in the book that he has changed. It's like, this is not my Strahd, and I every time he's been like, this is not what my Strahd is, I'm like, oh, okay, cool, good. I like the idea that there's more to it. That was, yeah. It's one of those things, I think, that module has a lot of fun things, but also a lot of problems. But yeah, I think we're good. I'm having a think of my energy levels, whether or not I have time and the spoons to start a second one. I'm looking at the time, and because I'm drawing a background and not like a mimic, I think we'll call it there today. I'm gonna be kind to myself. But that's the second background we've worked on for this. We also did, I can open it up and show, last week we made a city. Whoops, sorry for the white screen. Ta-da! So this is our city background that we made last week. And this is what I'm thinking is going to be like the main base screen. You know what I mean? Like when things are just, the story is progressing, they're not in a particular location, we're going to be rested on the city. Just so that people can have a look and kind of feel like they're in an environment. Thank you. Thank you. I love just the vector style, just it being very blocky with a limited color palette. Awesome. Yeah, and then when they're in a particular location, we'll come over and be like, alleyway. Like the city, because the city is beautiful, but it also has dark places that you should probably not venture. But as heroes, they must venture. So I'm very excited. I think as the time draws near, I'll be able to say more, but right now I'm like keeping it under wraps. But anyway, let's see. Let's have a look and see if anybody is online to raid. Which isn't always the case. But we might. You know someone to raid? I always try to look for an art raider, but oh sweet, okay. Who has just gone live with art, Ringtail? What is their name? I will have a check them out. Aslan, like the lion. Let me have a look-see. They do traditional painting. That's so cool. Starting the stream. Let's go. Let's go over there. Why not? Thank you for the recommendation. Okay, everybody, if you want to hang around, we will raid another art stream. And hopefully keep it chill. Aslan, like the lion. There we go, let's type it again. Thank you, Ringtail. Thank you very much. Let me just make sure I've typed this correctly. Don't want to raid the wrong channel. Yeah. Okay. We will get that raid going, but I will see you all next time. Thank you for joining me.